Hey, so we have one more day praying for our husband in his various relationships. And today we're going to be praying about your husband's relationship with his parents. And this is applicable whether or not your in-laws are living still. We all know the verses that tell children to obey their parents, but this is something in the Bible. It talks about how our relationship with our parents definitely impacts us even into adulthood. Ephesians 6:2-3 says, "Honor your father and mother, which is the first commandment with a promise, so that it may go well with you and you may enjoy long life on the earth." So there is the difference between just obeying your parents like children are called to do and honoring your parents, which is what we're all called to do no matter what age we are. But just like Ephesians says, this is the first commandment of the 10 commandments. It does have a promise attached to it that it may go well with you and you may enjoy a long life on the earth. And so I think it's pretty clear to us now with all the advancements in psychology and stuff, how our relationship with our parents, especially early on, does shape us. It shapes our personality and our worldview and what's going on in our psyche. So whatever kind of upbringing your husband had, we can be praying for his relationship with his parents. And there are two sides to that. One would be kind of praying over things in the past. So if there were hurts or abuse or bitterness, or if there's a need for reconciliation, that's definitely something to be praying over. We did cover generational sins, but this would be another time to just bring those to mind. If your husband inherited bad habits or bad traits or sin patterns from his parents, this is another thing that we can be praying against. But there's also the side of things that we want our husbands to experience all the blessings that God has in store for them. And part of that comes with honoring our parents, just like the verse in Ephesians says, how there is a promise attached to it. So no matter what kind of upbringing your husband had, we can be praying for him to honor his parents. And if his parents are dead, then that would also include just honoring their memory. Now, that doesn't mean that we need to extend relationships to people who are toxic. It doesn't mean that we need to open ourselves up to jumping right back into a complicated abusive relationship. But if there is a need for forgiveness or reconciliation, we can be praying for that. If your husband had a great relationship with his parents or has a great relationship with his parents, that's also something to pray through and thank God for. And maybe you can think about some of the positive attributes that your in-laws have and be praying that that would be passed down, not only to your husband, but to your kids too. And that as your husband honors his parents, that these blessings that are promised in the commandment would extend to your family as well. So let's pray. God, I pray that my husband would have a good relationship with his parents that pleases you. I pray that in his heart he would be honoring to them. I pray that if there is any area that needs healing, that you would bring that you would protect my husband from bitterness. I pray that you would bring an end to any generational sins that have been handed down, that my husband could be the one to break some of those lines of sin and not keep on passing them down. And I pray for the positive attributes of my husband's parents to be carried on in him and in our children, Lord. I pray that for the blessings that you have promised that can come when we do honor our parents, that these would be extended to my husband, that in what he thinks and says and the way he acts to his parents, if they're still alive, would be pleasing and glorifying to you. Amen.